Back in 1996, two LAPD RAMPART crash unit officers, Mario Rios and Michael Montoya, were accused of covering up their encounter with 16-year-old Eric Vega right before the teen's death. Vega was found shot dead just moments after the officers purposely released him from their patrol car in the territory of a rival gang. Rios and Montoya failed to mention their encounter with the teen for years, and prosecutors said that both officers, at a minimum, withheld evidence and obstructed justice. Yet, both officers remained on the force. Rios is a current LAPD SWAT member, and Montoya retired as an SIS detective in 2023. On November 5th, 1996, the officers reportedly placed Vega in the back of their car while observing a drug arrest in the Rampart district. After driving around for a few minutes, the officers say they dropped the child off at a gang hangout known as El Castillo at his own request. Moments later, a gunshot rang out. Montoya and Rios were the first officers on the scene, only to find the victim was Vega himself. According to the teenager's girlfriend, just a month prior, Rios and another officer had threatened Vega by purposely dropping him in a rival gang territory, putting his life at risk. She described how Vega returned shaken and with his shirt torn after narrowly escaping a violent encounter. According to a report from Deputy District Attorney Laura C.R.A.S.H, both officers failed to document their encounter with Vega on that day before he was killed. In fact, the officers failed to disclose their interaction for years until they were forced to by Internal Affairs using compelled testimony, which could not be used to prosecute the officers. According to Deputy District Attorney C.R.A.S.H, Montoya and Rios completed their reports as the first officers on the scene of Vega's murder, yet there was no mention of their encounter with him. C.R.A.S.H noted, "It appears the officers intentionally withheld information from homicide detectives, Internal Affairs, and their chain of command, calling into question the credibility of their statements about this case. Furthermore, the officers had left out their encounter with Vega in all official reports filed that day, a clear violation of department policy." But even though the evidence seemed compelling, C.R.A.S.H found herself blocked from pursuing legal action against Rios and Montoya for obstructing justice. The officers were given compulsion to avoid termination and thus couldn't be used against them in court. Also, by the time the investigation, the statute of limitations had also run out. Even after the DA said the officers failed to disclose their contact with Eric Vega and obstructed justice, the LAPD failed to discipline these officers, where Rios eventually became a SWAT member and Montoya became an SIS detective.